Highway 138, just 3 miles west of I-15. Both those highways completely shut down, and here's the exact reason why. Take a look at just how devastating this fire is. Not a dry eye could be found in the entire convention center. Probably one of the most emotional moments in the history of Palm Springs, as thousands gathered to remember these fallen heroes. This is where they have gotten that 22% containment, and towns like Hesperia and Summit Terrace, those are places where people have been allowed to return to their homes. And not heeding those evacuation orders is incredibly foolish. Just look at how quickly these flames are moving through this dry brush. Just in the hour that we've been here in Lytle Creek, I've seen this fire here along this roadside move easily 2 acres. Looks like I got bit a little earlier in the day. Started to turn into a zombie, but I think I found the cure. It turns out if you eat a bacon-wrapped hot dog, starts to reverse the effects of being a zombie. Some kids might start off crying when they sit on the camel, but as soon as the camel takes that first step, boy oh boy, all those cries go away, and then they're only crying when they have to get off the camels. We're actually standing on those eastbound lanes. The collapsed areas just about 20 feet over here to my left. As you can see, a giant hole. So that's the area that they're not focusing on. As you said, they are working on these westbound lanes. During my conversation with Senator Sanders, he told me he's not only confident that he'll be able to beat Hillary on the June 7th primary here in California, but he can take his grassroots campaign all the way to the White House. Search and rescue crews on the ground are having to deal with some very difficult conditions. As you can see, there are boulders all over the place, along with cactus, and on top of that, they have to deal with the local wildlife. We were told by people that were text messaging their family members inside that they were sectioning people off as to people who witnessed the shooting and other people who just happened to be in the building at the same time. We were also told that they are going to, once they finish the interview, they're going to let those people out one at a time after they take their photograph. Many of the witnesses that took the stand today were there to establish the scene of the crime, where 3 murdered bodies were found badly burned in the town of Pinyon Pines. Take a look at the video we shot inside the courtroom today. Well, Karen, when you think about Big Bear and you think about the Big Bear area, you definitely think about camping, and that's certainly what hundreds of firefighters are doing on this softball field right now at Big Bear High School. They've pitched a bunch of tents. That's where they're going to go and catch some Z's after about a 16-hour shift of fighting the fire, which is just on the other side of Sugarloaf Mountain. Let's take a look at a map of where we are right now. As you can see, we are just west of the front lines, and the high school is kind of the best place to set up the command center. And I tell you, the community out here really has stepped up to help these firefighters out.
The terrain out there is really tough. We're talking 10,000 foot elevation at the most, and sometimes they're hiking up 2,000 feet a day or more. They're out there for 16 hours. They're really going to the T on this.
The lake fire has certainly been no picnic for firefighters, but they are making good progress.
We have no structure loss, and that's great. That's awesome. We did have to wrap a few historical structures the past 2 days as a precautionary thing, just in case the fire does come into that area.
Well, this is the kind of tough terrain we're talking about. Firefighters having to hike up hills just like this one, in many cases, ones that are a lot steeper, and then they've got to encounter tripping hazards like this one here that could be on fire. Big Bear High School turned into a command post where hundreds of tents are set up for firefighters so they can catch some Z's between shifts.
This was logistically the best spot for the camp, for the firefighters. It's big enough. We've got here again the gymnasium for day sleeping. It's close to the fire, so we're not putting the firefighters in a longer time of travel. This just was the best spot, and they moved their whole graduation to do that.
Local residents showing their support, especially on Father's Day.
They gathered cards, Father's Day cards, and they gave one to each dad. These cards are filled out by the people in the community, and it just really touched us. We're out here working, missing our kids, so it just really made it extra special.
The firefighters want to give a big thank you to everybody who came out and everybody who's continuing supporting them as they do this incredibly hard and dangerous work. It is really treacherous up on that mountain. The good news is no new evacuations have been ordered at this time. The fire is primarily burning in a lot of wilderness area on the other side of the mountain, so no new structures being threatened, at least at this time. For now, reporting live in Sugarloaf, I'm Joe Galli for News Channel 3.